What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some 6.7 Ford Powerstroke glow plug replacement. This was not something I wasn't familiar with, but I did a crash course and I just want to go over what I did to change this glow plug, tools I need, and just how to make it easy. This will not be a step-by-step, but it'll cover most of the gotchas that you will face when you do it, especially if you've never done it before. So I just want to get into it. First thing I want to cover is the tools you're going to need and the steps. All right, so this is the fasteners for the fender well. In order to get to the glow plugs, you have to take the fender well off, and I did the 6mm sockets, what I use, and a T30 Torx. And what you have is, this is what the bolts look like, basically. Standard fender replace pulling, nothing fancy. I do want to point out though, when you get up here, these connectors actually just push out. There's really nothing to do with them. You just push them up and out, and they'll go through the holes on the fender well. This was actually quite easy and nothing. I didn't end up cutting anything. They just pushed out. All right, next is identifying the glow plugs. So I just want to show, like, mine's number 8 is what the code was getting, and if you look on the valve cover, you see that the glow plugs are numbered. All right, and to get to the glow plugs, you have to take this fuel rail cover off. All right, I'm going to show you the fasteners in just a minute, but what I did is I just took the 2 lower ones off, and the 2 lower ones allowed me to get to the glow plug. This is number 8's glow plug right here, and you can see 7 beside it, and it goes on down the line. All right, so here's what the broken fastener looks like for that fuel rail cover. It looks like when you first see it, these should unscrew, but they're a push connector, and I had no luck twisting them out, so I ended up breaking 2 of them, the lower ones, but luckily the upper ones are still there, so I don't have to worry about it. I ended up getting 1 of these out, so I will get the new connector. I'll put the part number down in the link or description below, just so people have it if they want it. I would go ahead and order at least 4 of these before starting. All right, so to get the glow plugs and the connectors off, you're going to need needle nose pliers, and these angle nose pliers you will absolutely need, or they will make it so much easier. I'm just going to show you how I did that on the connector. Basically on the connector, it's going to be hard for me to show you the camera, but if you look, you can see that the wire comes out the center, and what I did is I grabbed around the seal area, making sure I wasn't on the connector wire itself, and they just pull right out, no twisting, it just pulls right out. All right, so this is the top of the engine valve cover looking down on the 8 side. I just wanted to tell you that there is one of those pins to hold this cover on back here where my screwdriver is pointing, and you have another one right over here by the oil fill as well. That's what's holding my cover on right now, and like I said, I could just lift this up to get to it once I had the 2 bottom ones out. There's a pin right here that holds it down, and there's another one back here that holds it down as well. This one's hard to get to. If you see, I did not take my tire off. I managed to do it without taking my tire off. I do think that if you have a bigger tire than stock, it's going to be more difficult to get back there and do. I just turned it with my steering, and I had room to get in there, but it was tight. All right, guys, so this is what I wanted to show you. I have a picture showing the code that you get. My code was permanent because I'd been riding around with it for a while. I will show you what that code is, but this I want to show you in that it said the code was permanent, and a permanent code, you cannot clear it with one of these OBD2 readers, but I have cycled it enough to where, oh, there we go. All right, so this is what I want to show you. This code's permanent. and it will take, like, the engine basically has to cycle through and not detect any codes to clear. So I'm not real worried about this yet. I did have a reading on the glow plug that would indicate it's bad, but it would have been very close. But here's the code I got from number 8. I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Alright, now I want to just go over how I tested the glow. This is the glow plug I pulled out. I want to show you the new glow plug part number, just so if you want to look it up, I'll put a link below to get it. This is the one I used. Alright, so they tell you with an ohm meter to basically it needs to be less than 2 ohms. So what was interesting is that this one for a while would throw a code, I would clear it, and then it would no longer throw the code for a while, but it got to where it was all the time. When I first read this, it was like over 2. Now it's 1.8, which the spec I believe is less than 2. 1.9 now, 2.5. So I'm hoping, you know, like, I don't have a code waiting to set anymore. All I have is a permanent code. So I'm hoping that after some drive cycles that... I want to add that these glow plugs are not magnetic. I was able with a deep well to, I think I used a 5/16 deep well to loosen it. It may be an 8mm fitted as well, but you will need a deep well socket. Also, it wasn't very tight. I'd seen like a couple videos where they were tight to get out. These actually were very easy to get out, and I was able to thread it back in with no problem, just using a short extension and the socket. All right, I do want to just show you that these do sit in a well, so once you pull this off, you will not, the connector off, you will not necessarily be able to see the glow plug itself. But I just want to reassure you that this does pull off, and there is a glow plug in there in a well, and mine were not tight and they were fairly easy. And if you don't know which one you're actually doing, look at the number on the valve cover. They are marked. All right, finally, so if the glow plug doesn't replace it, then I'm going to show you where the module's at. I did not have to get to this, but the module is actually in this fender well, and it's up underneath here. It's up underneath the top there on the side. So I just would say, if you happen to change the glow plug module, that's where it is at on 2017. I think probably 2018, 19, 20. I'm not sure where they stopped, but on 17, it's definitely there. All right, guys, so if that helped you out, just give me a like, subscribe if you want to see more Powerstroke maintenance, or if you enjoy my channel. But for now, I'm going to get this back together. I just wanted to cover the things I learned as I went. I'm going to put this back together, do a few drive cycles, and let's hope this glow plug code is behind me.